Okay, Hotel World, this your brother Matthew Daniels, aka Ampu, aka the Chosen Few, aka the real bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, world, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel, cheers to that. Okay, what we're doing here is I had a conversation with the brother G. Roy Blackburn yesterday about did angels have sex with humans, right? And the brother Ricky and the brother Coy, they were supposed to jump on and we're supposed to have a conversation with 4 individuals, but Coy, unfortunately, he was not able to get on. And Ricky, he was able to get on, but you know, he was in and out. So this morning when I woke up, I noticed that there were a lot of texts. We have a group text message chat thing that we do where we have some of these discussions before we actually go live and make a video about it. But I noticed that there was a lot of conversation about the conversation that me and Blackburn had. So I thought that it'd be a good idea if we had a discussion recap. So Coy could come in, give his perspective on what we were talking about. So Ricky could come in and give his perspective on what we were talking about. And me and Blackburn, we can share some more and new ideas about the topic, right? Basically, while I'm waiting on them brothers to get in, I'll just give you a recap on my position. I think that the Bible has a lot of mythology in it, especially in the beginning portions of the book of Genesis, right? And I think within that mythological story where in Genesis 6, where it is talking about the sons of God took wives of the daughters of men and they had these special children. What I'm saying is those were angels having sex with women. Now, we can go back and forth about whether you want to call them angels or not, but they were non-human entities that were having sex with human women or interacting with human women and having special children. Crazy part about it, world, is you see this type of thought process replete throughout the ancient world. Almost any ancient civilization that you can talk about, focus on, think about, mention, they all had stories like this of these beings, whether they were God, whether they were the Neteru, whether they were demigods, whether they were angels, right? Whether they were demons, okay? Whether they were extraterrestrials, like aliens, right? Any way you slice it, any way you look at it, they're talking about beings, non-human entities interacting with human beings and having special children. Now, like I said in the last video, the main reason why I believe people that believe in the Bible do not want to just accept that this is a mythological story about these aliens or these special beings, non-human beings interacting with human beings, is because they want to act like that the Israelites were the only ancient civilization in the world that did not include mythology into their origin stories. So we got the brother Ricky in. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself while we wait on the other brothers to come in. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Ricky, and let the people know what's your perspective on this discussion recap.
I actually need 1 minute. Yeah, you got to give me a minute, bro. I just signed in. But I just heard the ending. That like I just heard you say introduce yourself, but just give me a minute and I'll be back ready, man. I'm trying to get stuff together. I just clicked and that's all I heard.
Okay, so the brother Ricky he needs a little more time, so I'm gonna go in a little bit further. I hope y'all really watch the discussion that we're doing, this discussion recap on, because you will better understand my perspective. So assuming that you watched it, or assuming that you will watch it, I'm going to show you something. A lot of times these guys, and you're going to see it happening now, a lot of times these guys want to play the language game. They want to act like, oh, in order to really understand the Bible, you have to be able to break down the language. Now, common sense would tell you that if you want to understand something better, it is a good idea to be able to interpret some of this stuff in the original language. But here's the trick. They pretend as if they are like proficient in the language. You understand what I'm saying? If I don't want to hear the whole basis of your argument being laid on a foundation of the language and you aren't fluid in the language. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You can't base your argument primarily on the language if you aren't proficient in the language, because you could be making all kinds of mistakes, right? You could be falling into all types of tricks and traps. You see, that's why I'm not going to pretend like I'm going to build my argument on the language. Now, there are certain aspects of the language that I may understand, and there may be some renderings of certain words in the original language that I understand, and I may reference that, but never, listen to me well, listening audience, when you're having a discussion with somebody, never let them lay their whole premise on a foundation of the language if they're not proficient in the language. They can use it as a point, right? But they cannot make the language their foundation if they're not proficient in the language, because they could be wrong and do not even know that they're wrong. So you have to lay your foundation and make your premise of something that you already know and understand. Case in point, the scripture that we're talking about, where it says the sons of God, right? It's talking, they're going to say it's talking about Beni Elohim. Blackburn kept saying it over and over and over. And in the group text, they said it over and over and over and over. But then you ask these guys, okay, what is Elohim? What is that? Do you know that there's more than one definition of what that Elohim could be? So right then and there, you're in a trick bag, right? They're going to say, oh, Elohim could mean God. Elohim could mean angel. Elohim could be a human being. Elohim could just be a power. So once they tell you that it could be a multiplicity of things, right? Once they tell you that it could be a multiplicity of things, they are going to select that thing that makes them appear right. And they're going to disregard that you could also pick the thing that make you right. So it's a fundamental flaw in logic. So Ricky, I see you still on mute, so I think you still need a few extra seconds. So G-Roy Blackburn, the brother that I actually had the discussion with, I see you in the building, my brother. Say what's up to the, oh, are you ready to give your little introduction, Rick?
Well, I mean, you know, the same shit from last video. I don't need to introduce myself, you know what I'm saying? But like, really, I'm ready to dig in on this topic, man. I got a few questions to ask Mr. Blackburn, and you know what I'm saying? We need to eat, you know what I'm saying? So we need to eat on it. So where they at, man?
Well, Blackburn just jumped in. Coy still got his track shoes on, man. He running a marathon, bro. Yeah. He running a marathon. Well, Blackburn here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Okay. Let me call my boy Clark right now.
He go swipe your left. So Ricky, go. Let's start with some of these questions, man. The people want to hear this conversation. We're doing this recap. So let the people know what you thought about that conversation. Let's ask these questions. Blackburn, you in here. Don't pretend like you're on the phone. Don't pretend like you're too busy. We got you right where we want you. Deal with him, Ricky.
Well, I just the question I got, I just want to make sure I understand who the difference between the Nephilim and the sons of God in Genesis 6 chapter. Okay. I mean, verse 2 and 3.
Okay, so your question is the differences between Nephilim and sons of God, right?
Yes.
All right. I want to get this work. All right. And that question is for me, Rick.
Yes.
Okay. Sons of God and Nephilim. Uh, Sons of God is considered by God to be someone of a particular stature, a particular faith level. For an example, the believers in Christ are called sons of God. Solomon was called sons of God. I mean, a son of God. Israel was called sons of God. So, sons of God has a meaning of a relationship that God has with certain individuals or even communities. So, Nephilim were mighty men. Nephilim necessarily were the guys of renown. They were warriors. And when we're speaking of that day and time and age, they were men to be feared, men to be reverent, if I can say so. So that would be your Nephilim. They have a few different definitions in the book, but according to the book, that would have been it.
Okay, and sons of God, you said these were. I remember talking to you a while ago. You said that these were popular people, right? Like really high class people or well known people.
Sons of God, yes. So would have been guys that had a special relationship with the Most High. No different than today.
A special relationship with the Most High?
Special relationship with the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Like Adam, like Noah, like many of these. Huh?
These people here, you said they just hand selected women, and then they made babies with them, and the babies were known as like some men of renown and heroes of the old.
Yeah, and I would like to double down on that statement when, as the scriptures say, they were men. So in 2020, the only thing that produced men are men. And in 2020, sons of God are men. And
so who is a son of God in 2020?
In 2020, sons of God are still the same exact thing. But for an example, Christians say that your faith in Jesus makes you a son of God. Certain Jews believe that you're a son of God based on your relationship with Israel, or based on your relationship with the covenant, or based on your relationship with the Most High. So, sons of God, even in that time, even in today's time, still means the same exact thing.
Okay. Okay. That verse, it can also be in association with Elohim, sons of Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Elohim is what? Isn't that the creator?
Yes, that's the Most High. That's God.
God.
Elohim is the Hebrew word for God.
So now we have the sons of Elohim, which Elohim means the Hebrew word of God, and then we also have the I guess you said the priests, or the people who have the really close relationship with God, right? Elohim.
Yes. So for an example, if you were talking with a Catholic will consider the Pope as a son of God. You know, things of that nature.
Okay.
But that is a great question, and that's what we're here for.
Didn't you tell me that Moses was an Elohim too?
Moses spoke for Elohim.
So, but Moses was not an Elohim.
Moses was, to Pharaoh, Moses was Elohim.
So
and Elohim told Moses to represent me, represent me.
So yes, Moses was an Elohim.
No, Moses was not an Elohim. He was a representative of Elohim.
I thought you told me, now watch this. You finna get yourself in trouble because you told me that a human, a judge, could be an Elohim. You told me Moses was an Elohim. You told me angels were Elohim. That's what you said, bro. So now you coming on here before the people and you trying to make it seem like a regular human being can't be an Elohim when you've already told me that they could. You already told me that. And then you just quoted a verse that said Moses was an Elohim to Pharaoh. So Moses was an Elohim. You just said it.
Moses, see, I'm not understanding the connection you're trying to make, but Moses represented Elohim to Pharaoh. Elohim, the Most High, told Moses to be a God, to be God to Pharaoh. So when Moses spoke, it was almost as God is speaking. So whatever God instructed Moses to do or to say, in whatever particular form he wanted to do that in, Moses was to go and relay the message to Pharaoh, as if God himself was talking to Pharaoh. That's exactly what that definition meant.
So, okay, now I'm not going to go back and forth with him. I want to be clear to the people about something, right?
Okay.
I want to be clear to the people about something. In the beginning of the Bible, Genesis 1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That God in Genesis 1:1 is Elohim, right? And so when we had conversations about Elohim, I brought up that Elohim could be interpreted as a plural, right? Whenever you see the word Elohim, I want y'all to remember this, family. Elohim is not a solely singular term. Elohim could also be a plural term. So if this guy is trying to tell us that Elohim is only God, and Elohim can only be a reference to God, and nobody and nothing else could be an Elohim, why would it have a plural connotation to it? And the brother told me out of his own mouth, whether he admit to it now or not, he told me that the judges in the Bible were Elohim. He said Samson was an Elohim. He said Moses was an Elohim. He said angels are Elohim, right? And so I can't really bring up the video of those conversations, but I want to just make that clear to the people right now that he's lying to you. And I want you guys to look up Elohim and understand that Elohim could be plural. So if you can't include angels and men in the definition of Elohim, then there is more than one ultimate God according to this guy, because Elohim could be plural. But I want to show you guys something, right? Let's go into this, because he said that the sons of God were men, right? Now, when you look at Genesis chapter, matter of fact, let me see if I can share this, man, because I'm not finna play this game.
I had some. It won't let me share content. I had something I had to share too, because what I wanted to share was actually the Jewish train of thought.
Can what do y'all see on my screen? Do y'all see Bible Gateway?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay, now listen to this, family, audience. Genesis 19. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Now, I want y'all to think about something, right? Don't be fooled. I want y'all to think about something. It is specifically talking about angels, okay? Angels came to Lot, right? Lot talked about washing their feet. So these angels came in human form. Lot talked about washing their feet. He talked about them resting in his house, and he made a feast for them to eat. So you have angels in human form that can get their feet washed, that can rest inside of Lot's house, and that can eat. And they can be physically touched. And when the people of Sodom saw the angels, they called them men. They looked just like men. So we're not going to play this game that, oh, if it say angels, it mean angel. If it say men, it mean men. Right here, you see in the same story, they're calling angels angels. They're calling them men. These angels have physical body parts where they can get their feet washed. And these angels can rest. And these angels can eat a freaking feast. So it's not as cut and dry as he's making you believe, right? And when you go deeper into the story, these men of Sodom were so convinced that these angels were men that they wanted to have sex with them. They said, bring the men out so we can have sex with them. So we're not going to play the game like angels cannot appear in human form, right? Because you have right here where they're talking about men, but they already admitted in the beginning of the story that they're talking about angels. So don't be confused on that point either.
Right. That's also like Jewish thought too. You know, I don't know what you can push on the Zoom, but like I need you to make it to where I can share some content, because I actually wanted to show the Jewish version and what they would say about that verse too, that those they were divine, you know, those sons of God. So the sons of God language concept is definitely needs to be discussed, man. Cause like the language game is thrown out a lot. I guess that's their way of proving things, but from what I'm seeing is two different, I guess Jewish thought, just I guess they can't agree. It's two different sides, and to me it just looks like people just choose a side and roll with it, but is it facts? You know.
Okay, can I speak while you gather your notes on your Jewish thoughts?
Go ahead, man. My
Okay.
notes.
Okay. I would like to say something to what Matt just said in Genesis chapter 19. He read a verse. He read a passage of scripture, and it was describing a situation that took place in Sodom and Gomorrah. And in this situation, he described angels having human characteristics, and he's using that to prove, for whatever reason, that angels can take on human traits and human form. However, when you deal with the scripture makes it very plain and clear that that's what's going on in this text. It doesn't even use at all the the language of sons of God. It doesn't use that whatsoever. It literally tells you exactly what's going on and how it's going on. You're talking when Genesis chapter 19 speaks, which is not that far from Genesis chapter 6. You don't have a confusion of what's going on. It talks very plainly. It speaks on angels doing their thing in Lot's household and in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. It tells you that this passage you're reading about angels. It speaks of angels. So, unfortunately, when you're dealing with the language, and we don't have to go to the language. The story testifies itself. The story itself says, yes, these were angels. However, you don't have that same sentence. You don't have that same structure. You don't have anything in Genesis chapter 6. Now, as Rick said, and I agree with what Rick said, there is a mixed bag on this particular topic, but it's not a mixed bag on Genesis chapter 19, nor is it a mixed bag on any passage in the Bible that speaks about interactions with angels. There is no mixed bag nowhere except for Genesis chapter 6. And for some reason, you are putting angels there as if the author didn't know how to do that within himself. The author made it very plain and clear in all the other passages in the book of Genesis. In every passage in the book of Genesis, you are fully aware that this situation or this event had angel involvement in it. This is the only place in the whole passage, in the whole book of Genesis, that you are piecing together angel involvement. In Judaism, there's no such thing as fallen angels. It doesn't exist in Judaism. There are some Jews that may take that concept and agree with it, but when I say Judaism and rabbis and different things of the sort, no, they don't agree with angels and having sex, and you for sure couldn't get that out of Genesis chapter 6.
Listen, family. Now, we're not going to play the games, right? I just showed y'all this story. Watch this. I'm going to share my screen one more. Okay, Coy here. Good. Come on in, Coy. It should be syncing him in here in a second. I'm not going to wait. He coming in. All right. Let me see here. Bam. Can y'all see my screen? Watch this. Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, now this guy just said that there is nowhere in Judaism where this concept of angels being able to sleep with humans, right? This is what the guy just said. Watch this. Let's see who disagrees with him. Boom. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 19. I'm gonna stay here for a second because we're gonna harp on this point until the audience gets it. I know I won't convince them, but I want the audience to get it, right? Genesis chapter 19, verse 5. Pay attention to this story. Now, we're already talking about angels who came to Lot's house. Verse 5 says, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them. Now that men there, even though it says men, is not men, is angels. Verse 6, and Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, so Lot goes out to talk to these people who want to sleep with these men who are really angels who have appeared in the form of men. He says, verse 7, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. Now pay attention to, hold on just a second. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something, because you got to use logic, family. Angels have appeared in the form of men. They look like men, but they're angels. People think they're men, but they're angels. They came to Lot's house. The men in the city saw what looked like men, and they wanted to rape them, basically, right? They wanted to know them. And look what Lot says, right? Lot doesn't say, oh, you're out of your mind. It's impossible to do this to an angel. Angels and humans, they can't interact with each other on a sexual level. Look what Lot say. Lot say, look, don't do this to these angels who are in human form. I'll give you my daughters. Lot was so convinced that these angels in human form could be sexually assaulted by human beings that he offered up his own daughters. So don't tell me about, oh, Jewish thought. Don't tell me about that, because you have an actual character in the story of Genesis who absolutely believed that these angels in human form could be sexually molested by men. And he believed it so much that he was willing to give up his own daughters. So if these people didn't believe that angels could have sexual interactions with men, ask yourself this, audience. Why would he offer up his daughters? He believed it so much, he offered up his daughters. Don't let Blackburn fool you. Don't let Blackburn fool you. And again, I already showed you that. Think about this, and then I'm gonna pass it back, and then we're gonna go to something else a little later. But think about this. Angels can appear in human form. They can look like human beings. The Bible will say the word men when it's talking about angels. These angels can walk. These angels can speak the language of the people around them, right? These angels can have their feet washed. That means that they're physical. You can touch them. Lot prepared a feast for these angels. These angels can eat. So if it's an angel in human form with a physical body that you can touch, that you can see, that you can feed, that you can feel, that you can wash their feet, they want you to believe that, oh, but they didn't have sexual organs to be able to have a sexual interaction with men. But Lot don't agree. Lot was willing to give up his daughters because he was thoroughly convinced that an angel could be raped. And if an angel could rape, an angel can do some raping, because in the Bible it's telling you that angels was coming in the form of men. So even if they tell you that, oh, it says men right here, I just showed you in another verse in the Bible, it's saying the word men, but we know it's talking about angels. So even if it say men, it could still be talking about angels. And I'm gonna pass the mic. Corey, you just came on. Corey, you wanna get in on this?
Yes, I do. Hotep, brother. Man, sorry about the delay. I just got here, but everything produces after its own kind, man. I'm gonna hammer this point home. That everything, regardless if you believe in what Genesis says or not, produces after its own kind. Now, cats can decide to mate with dogs, and that can happen worldwide. But even if cats and dogs decided not to mate with their own kind, but to mate with each other, you're not going to produce a new race of living animals that will rebreed themselves. That makes sense. Angels having sex with humans sounds good, and you were right, it's mythological, because that wouldn't, there's no possibility that men could come from angels. There's no possibility. Now, there is a possibility that angels can appear as men. We see that all throughout the scripture. But I'm not sure if Blackburn ever touched on this part yet of the definition of angels. Blackburn, if you're there, did you touch on this, man? Did you touch on what the word angel actually means?
Just a little bit, not much.
Okay, so it ain't much to it, you know. It means messenger, you know. There ain't much to it. Angel means messenger. And so every time angels come, they come to do some certain thing or deliver a certain message. That's all they do. And it's ironic that no one ever questioned the thought of, well, how come there aren't female angels? Angels always come in the form of some man because they come to give some message. It ain't about coming down and having sex and eating and partying and have a good time. This would imply that the Most High's messengers have the ability to disregard his message and do their own thing. It's a spit on their name. He couldn't have sent them to defile humanity and then punish humanity for being terrible. These things don't go together. We're going to have to kind of dissect all what I said. But he won't send, how can he send his messengers to come do evil and then destroy the world for it? Now, I understand why we all kind of come to this understanding that it's very, it's one of them things that kind of is parallel across the board as far as mythological things is concerned. We understand that we've seen divinity mating with humans and making demigods and half man, half gods. That thing is not a unusual idea, you know, when you're talking about ancient mythology, but that's not what we're dealing with specifically in Genesis 6. And it's interesting that when I got on, we were talking about Lot, you know, because the issue is there ain't much to lean on in Genesis 6 besides our own understanding of what we're reading in the English. That's all. Now, we want to go to Job or we want to go elsewhere in the scriptures, that's fine. But what we got to realize is even with Genesis, like I think Genesis chapter 5 is considered the book of the generations of Adam. So that would imply that initially that was his own text. It wasn't attached to something else. And when we look at stuff like that, it would be better for this discussion for us to stick with the text of Genesis 6. I mean, because going outside and saying, oh, angels can eat and everything else, that's kind of the Christian argument for angels having sex. Even though Genesis 6 never says the word sex with angels. You know, it don't say angels and sex.
And I like.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Okay,
I thought I couldn't be heard. My bad.
No, that's cool, man. I like what you brought out, Corey, and that's an excellent point. You know, if we're going to deal with Genesis 6, we got to deal with the story of Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6 it has a story. It's an outline. So when you go and you describe to me Genesis chapter 19, then we're talking about a different story, even though we can use that story, but that story itself, it shows literally no sexual contact with these angels and these gay guys. It shows no sexual contact at all. So just because, you know, you thought these men thought that they was going to be able to rape these angels that look like men, does not mean they were able to. Again, like I said, in order for to prove your point, you have to draw a conclusion. You have to go into your imagination. And that's exactly what these guys was doing in Genesis chapter 19. They were going into their imagination. Okay, well, you know, we are able to do this with these guys. And angel appearing as a human being does not mean that they have sexual origins or sexual desires or anything of that nature. That's just a thought. That's literally not written nowhere in the text.
Right, and we can find in the text. If we look hard enough, we can find arguments for both sides. you could pull up some Job and say, well, see, this could mean angels here. Or you could pull up Psalms 82, I believe it is, or 89. You know, I said you are gods and you are children of the Most High. If you look at that in Hebrew, it's damn near saying the same thing. Beni Elion. It's not Elohim.
It's Elion, which is talking about judges.
Right. You're all the children of the Most High. He said, but y'all gonna die like one of the rulers, one of the regular old men. Y'all gonna die just like any other regular man. But he called them gods in the English and children of God, or children of the Most High. Now we don't assume that he was talking to angels there. See, it's Hebraic. It's the Hebraic phraseology. I was having to tell my stepdaughter this the other day. A lot of phraseology is used, and when we read it in the English, it don't quite make sense. We can explain it, but we don't quite understand why did they say it that way. You know, like why does it say, you know, when somebody's mourning, why do they lay flat on the ground? You know, these are certain cultural things that we might not pick up on, but we seem to zoom over sons of God in Genesis 6 and think we figured out what that means. But sons of God might not be the proper interpretation. That's the point. B'nai Ha Elohim don't have to mean sons of God. You know, it's a plural word. Elohim is a plural word. It can mean something entirely different, which would change the scope of all of Genesis 6. So if we zoom past what's actually in the text, we're going to lose sight of what
could Elohim mean?
It could mean rulers. It could mean judges. Elohim implies importance and like position. Like according to the story, the Most High told Moses he was kind of worried. He was nervous to go talk to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was you know, the ruler of the land. He was kind of scared. Look, man, I hear your voice telling me what to go do. But
Carl was not on the line.
Don't cut him off. Don't cut him off. Let him talk. You just know what's happening to you right now. Let him talk.
Okay, well, my bad. I didn't know if y'all dealt with that. But he said, he said, well, the Most High, according to the story, said that Moses will be God unto Pharaoh. And in Hebrew, he said, you're going to be Elohim to him. Because to him, you're going to be an important, like an important person, a nobleman. I don't know, you know, how else to say it in English. You're going to be of some high importance, as if you were a ruler or a judge or you know, you hold some high rank. So when you walk in his courtroom or his house or his palace, don't be afraid, because you will be like Elohim to him. Why would, just think about yourself. Think about this to yourself. Why would the God of the Hebrews announce himself to Moses and then tell him you're going to be God also to Pharaoh? Because God don't mean exactly what we think it means. And that's why I was kind of talking about earlier. I know we use the word God because we speak English, but God in English only really denotes one thing. You don't really go and call the judge, yes, your God, my God. You say your honor. You know, he's a human. She's a human. We don't address them as Elohim or God. That's something that's out of our scope of understanding because we don't think Hebraically. But in Hebrew, you might call the master of the house Elohim, or you might call the judge of the city Elohim, or the king of the town Elohim. It just denotes his high rank, because Elohim only means something like high power. Oh, your El or whatever. Some people say.
Let me ask you something real quick. Within the first 5 chapters of Genesis, just to help me understand the noblemen, the rulers, the people like that, can you show me any, like, in within the first 5 chapters of Genesis, any noblemen or any God, I'm trying to understand that definition or see it in scripture, like, before that time.
Okay. It says men of renown, right? The one of the things it says, because it says there were Nephilim. I need to get my book. I don't want to mismatch my words, but it says that these were the heroes of old, men of renown. So when I see the word heroes of old, men of renown, we're talking about of old. And It says of old in the book, in the very first book of the Bible. So we know it's talking about very ancient characters. So I'm thinking guys like Nimrod. I don't know what other names I could pull. I'll have to get the book right now. But when I think of Nimrod in ancient times, he's supposed to be one of those guys that, you know, very mighty or whatever. Some would even say he was a demigod or something like that. I think that's what's going on.
It's like what I'm seeing here. Like I see your point of view, but it's like right after Adam died, you know, you seeing Adam only lived like 900 years, so 1,000 years passed by, and now we got these sons of gods, and they're supposed to be noble men, and you know, I'm just trying to understand who exactly these people are and where do we see them. We should see something similar or something associated with that within the first 5 chapters. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna have to bust it open, man, for you. But I know we read about kings and wars and you know, people giving tithes of spoils of war and stuff like that in Genesis. I'm not sure if it's in the first 5 chapters, but
okay. Because like
I don't know what you're asking. I'm not gonna be able to pull out a name because they don't talk about it. It just says the heroes of old. You know, I guess to the ancient reader, they were supposed to understand what these guys, who these guys were talking about.
Yeah, what I'm trying to understand.
But I kind of want to help
the Hebrew point of view. You know, I get where y'all coming from. You're trying to say these are popular people, noblemen. Blackburn said that they were even priests, people who had a special relationship with God. I just want to see one in Scripture anywhere before that time. Like, who were they?
It'll be very difficult to go before that time. It goes to a story of Seth and Adam's kids and Seth, and then all of a sudden the story just reappears with Noah. So Seth didn't have a son named Noah. Many different generations went by before Noah came into play. It don't speak about anything of what's going on in those generations in the book of Genesis. So you go from Genesis chapter 5 to Genesis chapter 6, and you literally going from Adam's son to Noah. So between that time, there were many different things going on. Cain left and built a whole city to himself, and different things of that nature. So as Corey said, between Genesis 5 and Genesis chapter 6, it doesn't give no details to what was going on. But I would like to add to what Carl was saying, and most definitely agree with what he was saying. You cannot deal with this without dealing with language. You can't throw language out. Language is a very big part of what's going on here.
Definitely talking about the language. Yeah. I'm speaking language. That's why I'm trying to see, like, your definition of these people were like important people. So I'm just trying to, you know, see who the important people, like, how are you getting that definition? Where are they at before that time?
Let me give you an example. I don't know about before that time, but Solomon, for an example, was called the son of God. Solomon was not a fallen angel. However, he was called son of God. So if Solomon is called son of God, he wasn't a fallen angel. Israel called son of God, and he was not a fallen angel. When you read this stuff at English value, you do yourself a giant misinterpretation. And I'm not sitting up there saying you got to learn Hebrew or you got to learn Greek. But what I am saying is the story changes when you read the Hebrew. Your mind has already, someone has already told you that this is angels. If no one never, ever told you that, ever, you would have never associated that with being angels. Never. It would have been impossible to read the book of Genesis and never heard no teaching
never heard no doctrine on it whatsoever, you would have never associated sons of God to angels. You most definitely would associate the sons of God to other human beings. You get this outside of Genesis with commentary and doctrines and other people's thoughts. But if you by yourself never heard any of those doctrines or any of those teachings, it would have been impossible for you to take Genesis chapter 6 and transform that word sons of God to angels, especially if you was fluent in Hebrew. If you was fluent in Hebrew, it would have been impossible for you to turn that into angels, especially when you read like he read in Genesis chapter 19, where he specifically uses the word angel. Angel is written across the board in the book. So to take angels and put it there, and it's not there, is literally commentary or narrative or interpretation, but it's most definitely not a translation. It does not translate to angels at all, nowhere in Genesis chapter 6. Do you see the word angel whatsoever?
Does it translate to divine beings?
No, it does not.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Jews say. I can show Jews. I'm trying to share my content.
So my question would be: Is Solomon a divine being? Because
is it a link you got, Rick?
Well, I mean, usually, when I do Zoom, everybody can share. Yeah, I do have a link. Yeah, to answer the question.
It should like on mine, it's at the bottom of my screen. It just says share screen.
Yeah, but see, when I push it, it says only the host can share.
Oh, so wait a minute. Okay.
I guess it's a setting. Yeah.
Try it now. My bad.
Now I can share content. Okay, I need a minute, but yeah, there is a Jewish thought that they put divine beings in that. So you might not have. I mean, you can cancel the word angel. The Jews do have a view of divine beings being in Genesis 6 too.
Yeah, and that coincides with what I just said. You will have to go outside of the language, and you have to go outside of the definition.
Notice this, brother. Notice wherever Genesis 6 is real basic. You see how you having to ask me? Because 5 is the book of the generations of Adam. Then after it gets you talking about Adam's family, it goes right into a whole nother topic. It's like you can tell these things don't flow. Genesis 6 is very basic, but when you step outside of the text, man, you get names, Azazel, and you get things that they taught to people. You know, they taught women how to beautify themselves and how to abort their babies.
Come on, man.
It gets so deep. Hey, brother, I'm a sucker now.
Let me get in there.
Let me just say my last point real quick. Family on here that's listening in, don't let Matt fool you. Don't let him fool you. Matt is not going to quote anything from Moses. He won't quote Moses' pen whatsoever. Matt is going to quote people that's not Moses. He won't quote the author. If y'all listen real close, family, I'm going to only quote what the author wrote. Matt is going to take you to Philo, Josephus. He's going to take you to these Hellenistic Jews in the 1st century. He's going to take you to stories of, like Corey just said, names and things. You don't get none of that from Genesis chapter 6. How do you get an angel name from Genesis chapter 6? It's not there, family. So don't let Matt fool you. Matt wants you to read other sources that's mythological, so you can make the whole thing mythological. But none of that is going on in Genesis chapter 6.
Okay, now I'm glad. Yeah, turn this thing up. Now I want y'all to see something. I'm going to deal with that first, and then I'm going to double back, and I'm going to clean up some mess that was left from the beginning of the conversation. The brother keep talking about, I'm going to go outside of the text to explain this, right? Because I'm saying that these were angels or these were non-human entities. Then they come back and say that these sons of God they were these noblemen. They were these individuals that had a special relationship with God. It's possible that they were priests. family. They're going outside of Genesis 6 to say all of that. If you notice, when Ricky asked over and over and over again, where are you getting this from? Why are you saying, like, think about it. If we read the sons of God did X, Y, Z, and then we ask the question, who are these sons of God? And they say, oh, they were noble men. Brother, you making it up and you going outside of the text. So stop trying to tell me that I'm going outside of the text. I don't have a problem with that, to try to interpret what it's saying, but just understand that you're doing the exact same thing. Now check this out. The brother said, don't let Matt fool you and don't trust Matt. Audience, think back to the beginning of this conversation. When we first started talking about Elohim, Blackburn tried to say that Elohim was only God. And I asked him, brother, didn't you tell me that Moses was an Elohim? Didn't you tell me that the judges were Elohim? Didn't you tell me that angels could be Elohim? Didn't you tell me this? He said no. And he tried to pretend like Elohim was only God. Moses wasn't an Elohim. The judges weren't Elohims. Samson wasn't an Elohim. The angels can't be Elohim. And I told y'all, and I told Steve, he cut me out because he feeling this. Don't cut me out. Oh, let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. You're exposing yourself now. Let me talk. Exactly. So now check this out. No discipline. And so now check this out. He feeling it. Because y'all heard, and you can rewind back, and I was specific. I say, so you mean to tell me that you have never told me this before? And he acted like he had no clue what I was saying. And so I'm glad that when Coy came in and Coy started talking about Elohim, I just shot it out there. What else could an Elohim be? He said exactly what I told y'all that him and Blackburn have always taught us, right? Elohim does not have to only be the most high God. Angels can be Elohim, right? The judges in the Bible can be Elohim. Samson can be Elohim. Moses can be Elohim. Elohim can be a multiplicity of things. Now, just so you don't have to take my word for it, you don't have to take Blackburn word for it, and you don't have to take Ricky word for it, and you don't have to take Coy word for it. Check this out, man. And then I hope we understand that he intentionally misled us earlier. I just got to expose that. This is the Strong's Concordance, right? The Strong's Concordance. The word Elohim is 430, okay? I'm finna read what the Strong's Concordance says about Elohim. Elohim, plural of 433. So it's the plural form of something else. Just like I told y'all in the beginning, I'm proving that I know what I'm talking about. It says gods in the ordinary sense, but specifically used in the plural of the supreme God, occasionally applied by way of deference to magistrates, and sometimes as a superlative, angels. It says great, judges, mighty. So Elohim could be talking about something or someone mighty. It can be talking about judges. It could be talking about someone great. It could be talking about magistrates. And guess what? It could be talking about angels. So this brother want to talk about language. I'm not going to pretend like I'm proficient in the language. And I'm not going to base my entire premise on the language because I'm not that proficient in the language. But you're not going to talk about the language and then misappropriate the language and mislead people about the language. Regardless of what he says, look it up for yourself. Elohim can be interpreted as a plural. Angels can definitely be Elohim. Now I want to show y'all something real quick because I'm just going to keep pointing stuff out, right? I'm just going to keep pointing stuff out. Let me share my screen real quick, family, because I let everybody go, right? I let everybody go. Let me see. Check this out. Check this out. Y'all got to see this, man. Y'all got to see this. The book of Enoch, right? And I know they don't like it. But the minute they try to discredit it, I'm going to decapitate the whole room. Chapter 6, the book of Enoch, right? And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely women. So they're making a reference to the same Genesis 6 that we're talking about. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Okay? So the book of Enoch is clear on that. The book of Enoch is clear on that. So what I've already proven, right? For one, understand this, family. If we're going to have a discussion about what son of God means in Genesis 6, we have to reference things outside of Genesis 6. Because even if they say, follow my logic, even if they say that sons of God there is noble men, they're using something outside of the text to make that point, because the text does not say noble men. So stop talking about going outside of the text. We can't interpret it without going outside of the text. It's crazy to me that y'all keep using that as a point. And don't let them fool you with this language conversation, because earlier I told you he was misleading you on the language. And when Coy came in, Coy proved that he was misleading you on the language. And now I've just shown you the strong concordance that should just end the debate on that. He definitely misled us about what an Elohim was. Now, I already showed you in another verse in Genesis, angels are called men. So if you read that verse and you see men, right? And then they try to tell you, no, I don't want to go outside of that verse. Right? I don't want to go outside of that verse where the men of Sodom said, send out these men where we may know them. And then I try to come around and say, brother, those men are angels. Oh, I want to see it in the verse. The verse say men. That particular verse don't say angel. You can't go outside of that verse. Man, it's crazy to me when people try to come with that. You can't go outside of the text. You can't go outside of the text. You can't go outside of the text. Then to answer Rick questions, he gonna jump all the way and talk about, oh, well, Solomon was this and Solomon was that. How you gonna talk about Solomon and you can go outside of the text, but I can't go outside of the text? Make sure you understand that in Genesis, angels appear as human. Those humans can walk and talk. Those humans can be touched. Those humans can eat. Those humans can rest. And when I'm saying human, I'm saying angels in human form. And the individuals who lived during that time period, my primary source for that ideology is Lot. They fully believed that an angel in human form could be raped. I don't want to hear what they're talking about. Lot believed that an angel in human form could be raped. Why did he believe this if his culture didn't already believe that?
Okay. I'm gonna let Corey go because I think he has something to say real quick. But man, I am so glad you broke that down, because you are just literally just squishing yourself down further and further on that sword, and I love it. Go ahead, Corey.
Hey, brother Matt, is there a way
Can
you share Genesis 6? Do you have anything with interlinear on it, with the Hebrew words in it?
Not the actual Hebrew.
No, watch this. Let them share the Bible Gateway. Put Genesis chapter 6 back up.
Hey,
yeah, somebody please share Genesis 6. Is there a way to do that?
You should be able to. You press share content in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, you can share.
He's just gonna share. Hold on, you want the Hebrew or you want just the verse? Because I just need the verse. I just need the verse to share all that stuff he just said.
I like both. I like both, so I can prove my point. I like the English and the Hebrew next to each other. You know, I'm trying to show something, but I don't want to just say it, because I know a lot.
It's so obvious. It is so obvious. Wow. I mean, you really fell on your sword, Matt, and you don't even see it.
6 and 2, chapter 6, verse 2. And if y'all can't share it, don't worry about it. I'll just say whatever it is I'm trying to say, but I want to show it.
I'm almost willing to bet you're about to say the same exact thing I'm about to say. I'm almost willing to bet. You gonna share it, Carl, or you just gonna bring it out?
Oh no, I thought somebody else was gonna share it. No, I don't know how to share it.
I thought you were about to share. You say you want me to share Genesis 6, brother?
Yeah, Genesis
Yes, sir.
6, 2.
Can't do it in Hebrew, but I'll share
Okay,
it.
that's fine.
Okay.
And family, for the record, I said Moses was Elohim as a representative of Elohim. Those were my exact words. Samson is a judge. That means Elohim. He is not Elohim. He is Elohim, but he's not Elohim.
He
I have
is.
never ever disagreed with Elohim meaning judge, meaning ruler, meaning anything of that nature. As a matter of fact, Rick came on and said exactly what I was saying. Someone very important, a priest, a judge.
Can y'all see my screen sharing?
Yes, sir. But
Bro, stop trying to do damage control and just let Coy go, bro.
Go ahead, Corey. And then right after Corey finish, I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the casket. Let's go.
No, brother. Okay, is that it? Let me see. No, this is the English. I wanted to interlinear, like the Hebrew next to the English.
Nah, I just told you I can't do Hebrew, bro. That's what I was saying.
Got it.
Well,
I got it.
Well, never mind. Anyway, okay, so this was a simple point, man. I know you're going to jump on me for doing this, but Genesis 1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. The word for God there doesn't have the what is it? I guess it's a pronoun. The word the.
Oh, he ain't even going there neither.
The H in Hebrew, or what is known as the hey, would imply the. It would be our English the. So if I were to put a hey on the beginning of Elohim, it would be the gods. But in Genesis 1, it says, and Elohim, it says Elohim, bara Elohim, like created God, the heavens and earth. It don't say created the Elohim, the heavens and the earth, if that's making sense. That's why I wanted to look at it in Hebrew so I wouldn't say it backwards. It's probably going to sound like mumbo jumbo. But in Genesis 6, it says, B'nai ha Elohim, sons of the gods, sons of the Elohim. Now, what or who comprised the Elohim? You said it once before, it could mean angels. So can angels be sons of angels? That means angels up there having babies? You see? But in Genesis 1, it is saying Elohim. Now, when it uses Elohim by itself, it's supposed to denote the one true God, the mighty God, even though that's not his name, it's just a title. But in Genesis 6, it says the sons of the gods. So that's why I want to look at it in Hebrew. That hey, that what sounds like a H in Hebrew before the word Elohim denotes the. So now we know we're talking about something plural. So if it is going to be angels, these are kids of the angels came down. It ain't the angels themselves.
Come on.
Because it's son of the gods.
I'm so glad you said that, Clark, because that's exactly what I was going to go to. Genesis chapter 6, verse 2 starts off with the word then. It starts off with the word then. Let me show you how confused Christianity and everybody that holds this doctrine. Ben means son. There's no argument at all with nobody that the first word of Genesis chapter 2 is son. The first word in Genesis chapter 2 is sons, Ben. So, as Coy just said,
let me ask you something, Blackburn. Blackburn, let me ask you this. Has sons ever been used to denote animals? Like the sons of the donkeys or the sons of the, has it been used to denote anything other than men or human beings?
I never heard a Hebrew phrase with sons and animals put together, but I don't see why I couldn't. I don't see why male. Well, I don't think sons would actually. No, I don't think they would actually make animals into sons. I think that's a human. Cow. A male cow is a bull and things of that nature. They have different names for male animals. I don't think you will be able to get you, but you might be. I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to get sons out of the animal kingdom when it comes to that. I haven't seen it. I haven't ran across it, but I do know that Genesis chapter 6 verse 2 starts off with son. So logically, it would only imply, as Coy mentioned, that the sons. So that would mean that the angels went down, had sons, brought them back up, and then those sons went down. So now you can say the sons of the angels. See, literally the verse implies that sons went down. Sons of who? And you're saying it's angels.
The
So
Elohim. The sons of
Elohim did mean angels. Yes, you're correct. But it would mean the sons of the angels.
and this is what's killing.
That's not what I said, brother.
It would say the Elohims went down. The Elohims went down. If you want to put angel there, the Elohims went down. The divine ones went down. The judges went down. But when you add son, that means an offspring of Elohim, which would mean an offspring of the angels, an offspring of the judges, an offspring of God went down. So there's a problem with the understanding because you're trying to make that claim without using the word son. Son is tattooed to Genesis chapter 6, verse 2. You cannot say Genesis chapter 6, verse 2 without using son. It's there.
Okay, now here's another thing. Now we're dealing with Genesis 6. We're dealing with the language. Okay, and this is why I wanted the interlinear, but that's fine. If anybody cares, they can go look it up themselves. Verse 4 says there were giants in the earth in those days. Now the Hebrew says Nephilim. Okay, Nephilim denotes men. Let me see. Nephilim were there after the flood, before the flood, and it denotes a type of man, type of human. It doesn't denote son of an angel. Angel is nowhere to be found in Genesis 6. Watch this. Let me just skim through real quick. Came to pass when men began to multiply, okay, sons of God in chapter 2, daughters of men. Verse 3 says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he is also flesh. Verse 4 says, there were giants in the earth in those days. Sons of God came to the daughters of men, and they bare children. Same became mighty men, men of renown. God saw that the wickedness of man was great, and it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved the man his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man. See, now, if we stick with Genesis 6 and just hammer Genesis 6, this is so human. The story is so full of humanity. Man is getting punished. Man is doing the crime. Man is screwing up. Man has filled the earth with violence. The Most High repented to himself that he made man. He didn't say, God, dog, these doggone messengers, these doggone angels up here screwing up. He's mad and he's punished those who have committed the crime. That would be very unfair and unjust to be, okay, let me think. Okay, a sane person breaks into an insane person's home. I'm just throwing something out there. Someone who doesn't have their right mind, and someone who does have their right mind. They are above that person who doesn't have their right mind. If you were going and let's say to rape a person who is not in their right mind, you are the superior being in that sense, and you have violated the inferior person. And why would the superior person not be in trouble? You know, we think we're dealing with a holy, divine judge who executes justice and judgment and go tell folks, hey, kill up these whole town of people or whatever, because I say that's the judgment. Well, why would the angelic beings who supposedly commune with God up in heaven and do his work and go and send back and forth and send his messages, how could they just break off from what he told them to do? And the only people get punished are the innocent babies, these little giant babies that came up out of these women from the angel daddies. They going and creating violence, injustice all over the earth, and mankind. He repents for creating man.
And also come right back and do it right after the flood again. You see it in the book of Numbers. They coming back and do it again. So, literally nothing happened, because if we go by the logic of the unlearned that's trying to fool you, the angels had sex with women before the flood, and the angels had sex with women after the flood. So, it's right there in the text. Nephilim does not stop existing because the flood happened. Man, what's the next topic?
Oh man. Oh man.
What's
Yeah, you know, and like I say, I understand.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question.
Yes, sir.
In y'all Bible, do angels appear in human form?
Yes.
Angels always appear in human form.
Okay.
I don't think
In the Bible, does it sometimes say man or men, and it's talking about angels?
it never says women. Yeah, it always says
I
man.
didn't ask women.
Right.
I asked simple question. Just answer the question.
Yes,
Don't get afraid.
always,
So sometimes wait a minute. Let me ask you some questions. I let y'all go for a long time. Don't get afraid now.
You want me to answer the question? I'm gonna answer the question. It would never say men without letting you know that these are angels as men. You would never have that. It would never be just men, but it's actually talking about angels. If you see men as angels, it will most definitely let you know that these were angels appearing as men. Nothing of the sort to where it's just an independent source saying that these are men, but in reality they were angels. Nowhere in the Bible.
Are you through, brother?
Get
I
you
let
some
y'all go for a long
answers,
time, and I'm trying to get in, and you keep going off on a tangent, bro. You gotta have some kind of decorum, fam. Like the people understand. Nah, just listen. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. The people are listening. Of course, they understand that we're disagreeing. But if I'm asking you a question, just answer the question. You don't gotta go off on a tangent. What you just said, you said 10 minutes ago, over and over. We get it. So again, I gotta start over. Let me build my point. Do angels appear as men in the Bible? Are there certain verses where you read the word men and it's talking about angels, but it calls them men?
Yes.
Are angels are identified as men and not angels by characters in the Bible?
Yes.
Do angels eat in the Bible?
3:8 in the Bible, yes.
No.
So they okay. So now, family, I want y'all to understand something, right? What they're telling you, okay, is angels in the Bible interact with human beings. These angels that can interact with human beings, they're telling you that they take on or they can take on human form. And they are telling you that in this human form, these angels are physical entities. And these angels in human form, which are physical entities, can be mistaken. They appear to be so human that some of the other characters in the Bible can mistake them for regular human beings. They can be touched, right? They can eat. Okay, if they can eat, then they have some type of, it's not just an apparition. They can eat, they can rest, they can speak the language. The Bible calls them men, and they can be interpreted by individuals around them as being men. So you have angels all throughout the Bible interacting with human beings. We're not going to pretend like angels do not interact with human beings. And I want to touch on something real quick. And it's just the crazy thing about it. They want to make it seem like, and see, this what you got to understand, right? If they don't see something explicitly written in the books of the Bible that they have, it's like their mind can't comprehend what's going on. The brother said that, why would God only punish humans and not punish angels if angels came down and did this? And he's only saying that because he doesn't see anything about angels being punished. So they act like the Bible has to tell them every single thing that happened for it to be a reality. It's analogous to an individual saying, well, if I say Abraham, since he was a human, he had to take a shit. He had to use the bathroom. He had to poop. And then somebody telling me, well, you have to show me in the text where Abraham took a poop or Abraham didn't take a poop. It's crazy. And the brothers want to talk about what's unfair and what's unjust. These brothers just mentioned the flood. The Bible say that the whole world was flooded and everything with the breath of life in it died, all the people except for Noah and his family. That means babies and all. So you got these innocent babies that's being flooded out. Now, when you die from drowning, that's not a quick death. You talking about it raining. You talking about the water rising. You talking about people screaming, crying, floating as long as they can until they sink under the water. So what's just and righteous and holy about drowning some newborn babies? Y'all just seeing in the news a few years back, this lady talking about because she heard some voices and whatnot, she drowned her 5 kids in the bathtub. You know them kids was innocent. She ain't had no business drowning them kids. But these guys want to talk to me about it'll be unjust for God not to punish these angels, but it's just for God to drown innocent babies. Don't bring morality into a conversation when you're talking about the flood. It ain't nothing moral about that. And then again, family, now think about what I'm telling you guys. Angels interacted with humans. Angels interacted with humans under the guise of men. They're called men in the Bible. They're interpreted or they're viewed as men from the people around them. And what I'm showing you is that these guys, regardless of what they're saying, they're not proficient in the language, okay? But guess who was proficient in the language? Ancient Israelites. Now, they tell me that I can't use an individual like Philo or an individual like Josephus or the individual that wrote the book of Enoch. So why should I listen to them? Again, if you look in the book of Enoch, it explicitly talks about that story being angels having sex with humans. So you got to ask yourself a logical question, man. If what they are saying is correct, if there's no way that if you knew the language, you could read that story and not interpret it as angels, if that is just like a total impossibility, I don't know Hebrew, you don't know Hebrew, and they don't know Hebrew, how they acting like they know Hebrew. But guess who did know Hebrew? The people who put those scrolls in the Qumran caves. And those people were saying that it was angels. Josephus, who knew Hebrew, he said that they were angels. Philo, who knew Hebrew, he said that they were angels. These people knew Hebrew better than me. They knew Hebrew better than Coy. They knew Hebrew better than Blackburn. And these people lived in the culture and they were saying that these things were angels. Now, again, I didn't say that the sons of God, that God there was angels. So it was talking about sons of angels. The only reason why I brought up the different definitions of an angel is because Blackburn tried to mislead us earlier. And he tried to say that Elohim was only God. And then Coy came in and contradicted him and said Elohim could be Moses. Elohim could be the judges. Elohim could be angels. So what I'm showing you is the ambiguity of the text. Because they're going to try to tell us that those sons of God were noble men. Show me where it says that they're noble men. Of course, we're interpreting what it's talking about. And so when I bring something like, let's say if I say, okay, I'm showing you a group of Israelites that wrote the book of Enoch and they interpreted this as being angels. Show me the ancient Israelites that agree with you. You say that they noble men. Show me who said that. You telling me that they may be priests. Show me who said that. You telling me that, oh, these were just people that was close to God. Show me who said that. Show me somebody from the culture who said that. And then we can have a more full discussion. And this is the last thing that I'm going to end on. I'm going to share my screen on something because we playing games, man. We don't need to play these kind of games. Let's deal with this. Let me see. Is this what I want? Okay. Yeah. Paragraph 2, it says these stories. The stories within Genesis were transmitted orally over many generations, and some of them bear close resemblance to the myths of the Near Eastern neighbors, as is the case with the flood, etc., 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 right? And so what they don't want you to understand is What they really want you to believe is that a guy named Moses sat down and wrote Genesis, and then he passed that down, and people copied it and copied it and copied it and copied it. No, it wasn't just one person that wrote Genesis. It was multiple people that wrote Genesis. And Genesis was written over several different centuries. This is what all of the major scholars have a consensus on. That it was multiple oral and written traditions that somebody melded together in to try to make it one coherent story. And so what they keep saying is the point that I want you to get. They keep saying that, you know what, this doesn't make sense. That, oh, angels came down and had sex with men, and then they had babies, and then there was the flood, and then after the flood, there was still Nephilims. So this is illogical. It doesn't make sense. Guess what? That's not because math is illogical. That's not because math doesn't make sense. That's because the Bible, in the beginning, is mythological stories that are illogical. And it is mythological, illogical stories that don't make sense. It's not my fault. You got to just accept the fact that the Bible is mythological in its inception. And the fact that it doesn't make sense is not my problem. The problem is the Bible doesn't make sense when you try to make this real stories. You don't know when these people lived. You don't know who these people were, right? You can't prove that Moses actually wrote the book of Genesis when they say Moses wrote the book of Genesis. All the scholars say that Genesis was written from oral and written traditions over many different generations. So the scholars say it wasn't even just one person that wrote it. And family, I want y'all to understand something. Their whole point is they don't agree with it because it doesn't make sense. That is an impeachment on the Bible. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. The mythological origins in the Bible, no, it don't make sense. I agree with you. I agree. I don't believe angels came down here and had sex with people. I don't believe the whole world was flooded and babies was flooded out. I don't believe that Adam and Eve got kicked out of a garden after talking to a snake and eating the fruit, talking to a serpent. It's all mythological. And the fact that they keep pointing out that the story doesn't sound logical, they convict in their own book.
All right, can you
Please do.
Is it okay to talk now?
Something to say too, man.
I got a lot of stuff to say because Matt likes to hog the mic and make claims, and no one could counter those claims. But one thing that I have to say, since we're still on this live, I'm glad that this is on video, and I'm going to listen to the first few minutes, but it will clearly justify what I said, and we'll deal with that. Again, like I said, I know the definition of Elohim. I know Judges is in the definition of Elohim. This is common knowledge with just the average Bible student. Second off, what I would like to say is you keep saying that it's mythological. No, the problem is we're still debating angels having sex. When you say that the text is mythological, you're trying to scheme and scam the people. The text doesn't say angels had sex. The text does not say that. The book of Enoch says that. Josephus says that. Philo says that. And then you went to the Dead Sea Scrolls, the scribes of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Here's the biggest problem with that. With all of these individuals, the Dead Sea Scrolls scribes, the Philo, the Josephus, none of them changes the text in Genesis chapter 6. None of them makes it angels. None of them changes what that text says. So even though they may interpret it to mean that, none of them changes it to that. None of them gives you anything else other than sons of God, sons of Elohim. They don't say it was angels in the text. You have to go and get their interpretation of what they mean.
It don't say noble men neither, bro. That don't make sense what you're saying.
Okay.
Man, it don't make sense.
And don't interrupt me.
Check this out.
Because we got to do some back and forth on here too.
Yeah.
No, why is it back and forth now? And was it back and forth when you was talking?
I'll let y'all go for 15 minutes, you and Coy, bro, and then I'll buddy.
I ain't winning.
Yeah, come on, man. You know I've been letting y'all talk.
Get it in. Let's get it in. Come on.
Yeah, we're talking about language, you know what I'm saying? And the word Elohim. I just want to ask Blackburn and Coy, do they agree with me on this with the language? The word Elohim could mean any person characterized by greatness or power, a mighty one, a great one, a judge, or God.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Or gods.
Right.
Or gods.
Mm-hmm.
God with an S.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's in there too.
Someone divine.
Like this, Rick. Rick, you know how how a king was.
I
Go
just
ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'll agree first.
Yes.
Could Elohim mean something divine? Could Elohim mean angels? Anywhere in Scripture does Elohim mean an angel?
Okay, I mean that. Yes, that's based on the
I
strong
believe so.
definition. Yes.
Do you agree, Coy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I want to know.
Okay, do y'all have any?
I was gonna
Do
say
y'all
like
have
this,
any source? Wait a minute. I want to know something, because we're not going to play this game like my interpretation ain't valid and y'all's is. Y'all said that those sons of God were noble men. Is that your final answer?
What I'm saying is they were obviously children of some high power.
Like
Yeah, they were children of some people of high rank, high esteem.
Okay, so Corey, you're saying, let me write that down. You're saying that they were children of someone with high rank, right?
Yes, because it says the Elohim.
Okay, I got you. Blackburn, who are you saying they are?
I'm saying the same exact thing.
Okay, show me someone that agrees with you.
Now let me answer that one first.
The author of the chapter 6 agrees.
They should be in the text. If they're not in the text, I don't understand where the definition is coming from.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm hammering the text home. It says men.
Wait, no,
all over
because think about it. Ricky just asked a good question. If the term Elohim is ambiguous, then what we're doing all day, I can just say, you want to know what? I want to say it's God. And then you can say, I want to say it's the judge. And then somebody else can say, I want to say it's the angel. So what I'm saying is this is some discrepancy on what it actually means and who it is, because it says sons of God. It doesn't say angel. It doesn't say children of someone with high rank. So I want y'all to point me in the direction of where you're getting this from. Show me the Israelites that agree with you.
Watch. I'll go back again.
Let me answer this one, because I want to make sure, because he's been asking that question for 2 nights, and he's been saying I haven't came with nothing. I literally said that the Shabbat, the Jews for Judaism, and rabbis all agree with my. If you ask me for sources, I'm giving them to you. You keep saying I don't have nobody.
No,
where are you getting this from?
No, bro. All right, look, calm down. I don't want to go back and forth. I'm really trying to understand, because you're not being specific enough. How can I, if you just say Jews agree with me, how can I look that up and verify it? Or how can the people listening?
You're not listening. I said the Jews for Judaism. It is a corporation of Jews and rabbis that's coming together and interpreting the text also. I said the Shabbat, which is another high-ranking Jew of Jews.
Okay, wait. Spell that for me. Shabbat. Spell that.
C-H-A-B-B-A-D.
So is that an organization?
That is an organization.
When was that organization created?
When?
Yeah.
I don't know when. Why?
Because I'm trying to understand your source.
Wait a second. I gave you the source. That's it. That's all I gotta give you.
No, I know, bro. I say I'm trying to understand your source. I'm not even. I don't even know who that is. I'm trying to see. You say.
These are Jewish rabbis, Jewish scholars. That's all I got.
But I'm saying, when was their organization?
Yes, it's an organization of Jewish scholars and rabbis.
When was the organization founded, fam? You don't know?
I don't know. I don't know when it was founded.
Spell it again. C-H-A-B-B. Wait a minute. Damn,
if you
bro.
want to use Josephus.
Oh, my God, fam. I'm trying to have a decent conversation at this point, because I want to see your source, all right? Now, you said Shabbat. C-H-A.
Shabbat.
C-H-A.
B-B-A-D.
B-B-A-D. All right, I'm going to pull that up. You can talk.
C-H-A, no, it's one B. C-H-A-B-A-D.
Yeah, take away one
Chabad.
B.
Oh, that's that Chad.
Yes,
that
sir.
Chad bad. I must have been. It's Shabbat. That's what it's called. All right, let me see. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Chabad.
it's a group of study and learn rabbis and Jews that interpret the text. And
Yeah.
also, I want to add to that, you want to get the information about my sources, and that's perfectly fine and that's perfectly legal. However, Josephus is saying that Moses wrote the Torah. So if you're going to agree with Josephus when it comes to that, but you agree with Josephus when it comes to this angel thing, I'm discrediting your source with your own source. Your source discredited itself. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Nobody,
Now,
bro, okay. It's illogical to think that because I accept one thing that someone says, I have to accept everything. Now, since you want to go there, brother, you yourself said that even though the Bible says it was a worldwide flood, you don't believe it was a worldwide flood. So are you going to throw out the whole Bible since you want me to throw out all the Josephus? Be careful.
No, I'm not throwing out the whole Bible. I'm just letting you know that your source, I don't see how you can use two different sources in the same book when you're talking about Moses didn't write the Torah, and you go get me scholars of today. But then when we talk about angels having sex with human beings, you go get me Josephus from yesterday. I don't get that.
All right, let me do something real quick. And this is not for me to dispute you. I'm doing this for the viewing public, just so they can understand what's going on here. All right. Can y'all see my screen, Ricky? Rick, can you see my screen? It. Okay, so I want y'all to look at this second paragraph that says founded. This is just a quick wiki on Chabad. It may be some more information. It says founded in 1775 by Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi. The name Chabad is an acronym for blah, 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 blah. So just for the people's edification, looks like this Chabad organization was founded in 1775. Coy, what do you have a source for your information is children of someone with high rank? And Blackburn, while he's doing that, can you show me where Chabad says that these were children of someone with high rank? Coy, what's your source for these being children of someone with high rank?
I have an app, but Chabad is good too because it's basically going to give you the same thing. If you had a Hebrew to English Hebrew Bible or Tanakh, your versions of some of your scriptures are going to read out different than what they do in let's say the KJV or whatever. So if you get on Chabad and go to Genesis 6, or it'll say Bereshit 6, and then they have what's called the Rashi commentary. You can look at the commentary, and various rabbis give commentary on what they believe certain verses imply or what they mean, what the Hebrew is saying. And that's how you can kind of, what you can do is look at what they have in the English and look at what's right there in the Hebrew and match them up. That's what I do a lot. I try to parse my own text to see if it makes sense. That's how I found out that it says the gods, because we just read in English, it looks like son of God. But
could you click on that commentary and read it? Could you click on that commentary on Genesis chapter 6, verse 4? If they got a commentary highlighted, could you read it?
If you go to Chabad, you're gonna have to press yes. It'll say show commentary, and it'll say yes or no. So if you don't press yes, it'll just show the regular verses. Which one, brother? Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so no, that's good. We see you guys sources. We're seeing who agrees with me, and we're seeing who agree with y'all. And it's interesting that y'all believe that some children with high rank went out snatching up women. That's interesting. Let me ask y'all this because wait a minute, let me just say something, because I like this whole outside of the text talk. I like that. What's the oldest version of the book of Genesis that you guys have?
I think Dead
The
Sea
oldest
Scrolls.
version of Genesis will be found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think that's the oldest manuscripts of the book of Genesis, chapter
How
6.
old is it? Have y'all ever looked this stuff
It's
up?
over 2,000 years old.
Yeah, but how old is it? Like when was it written?
Not sure, for sure.
Huh? Was it written during the Hellenistic period?
It was around
Afterwards,
that
most
same
likely.
time, yes.
Huh?
Around that same time, yes.
Okay, so now I want the audience to think about something. They're telling me when I quote Philo, when I quote Josephus, when I quote the book of Enoch, that I'm quoting Jews that have been touched by Hellenism. And what they have to accept is they're getting their information on Genesis from Hellenistic Jews too. Flat out.
Hey, I like to say something too, man. I'm looking at the language, you know, and it's looking like the word that ben ha Elohim is that the same words y'all see for Genesis 6:2 right there as the sons of God, ben ha Elohim. Do y'all see that?
Right. That's what's there. Yes, sir.
You see that too, Blackburn?
I'm not looking at it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's there.
Okay. What that word is also used like 3 or 4 other times in the Tanakh as a heavenly being or something divine or something of an angel nature. So, you know, when we speak in language, I see your point, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you're looking at it from a Jewish perspective, you do have a Jew saying that these were divine beings, and they're using the same word, Beni Elohim, the same word you see. If you look that word up, you can see heavenly beings being the definition, and it's used where not as a heavenly being.
No, I don't think none of us disagree with the definition.
No, he's saying that definition could mean heavenly beings. You agree to that?
Yes, I agree.
That's what I was going to bring out earlier, Rick. Rick, you remember when? Rick, you remember the story? I think King Nebuchadnezzar, the 3 Hebrew boys, was in the fire, and he said he seen a 4th man in the fire, and the English says he looked like the Son of God. And we're far removed from that ancient culture, so we don't exactly. People say, "Oh, he saw Jesus in the fire." How would King Nebuchadnezzar recognize Jesus? It was a cultural term. He seen one like the son of the gods. Like basically, he saw what he thought was divine. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about
children
like,
of someone with high rank.
Okay. Check this out. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32. A few books.
Great one.
And then, you know, the same language should be the sons of, you see how it says sons of humankind right there? It's like it has a different meaning. You can kind of see the human nature, like you can relate that definition to humans right there in that verse.
Where you at, brother? 31?
32:8. The word that Beni Elohim.
Oh, you say Deuteronomy chapter 32?
Yeah, verse 8.
Oh, verse 8. Oh, I think it's okay. When the Most High divided the nations and the inheritance, he separated the sons of Adam. Right, I see what you mean. The sons of
same word,
like
exactly.
the sons of humans.
Word. So that word right there is interchangeable. You can see it as I guess somebody of importance and a heavenly being. The same.
And where are you at?
That's we're in Deuteronomy 32 verse 8. The same Hebrew words you see in Genesis 6:2 for sons of God. You can see that you can see the same word in Deuteronomy 32 verse 8, and it's 2 totally different definitions. with the same word. And I say all that to say, if you can interchange that word like that, then I mean, in Genesis 6:2, you can't be mad at your own Jews because it's their definition, and you see the words interchanging right there within those two verses, or those two different
So in
books.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, I believe that the Dead Sea Scrolls and other versions translate that to Israel.
Hold on, man. Yeah,
30?
I was about to say, because that's what's throwing me off. I'm looking at it in my whatever Masoretic text. It's saying Beni Yasharab, Beni Israel.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe two different texts got two different, Hebrew words there. But
Yeah, but do you see the Beni Elohim or Beni Elam?
Not in my interlinear. No, it says in my.
You don't see Elohim right there in Deuteronomy 32.
I see Beni Adam.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
What about
Beni
Job?
Adam.
What about Job? What about Job?
No,
chapter
Job
1.
probably has it there. Let me see.
Do you see
Job 1
right there?
Hold on. I gotta get to it. Job 1. I believe this one does. Oh, it's moving slow.
You see the same words, the Hebrew words. I'm with you with the Hebrew. I got it. I got it right in front of me. So I'm just trying to, get y'all to see that the same word that you see in Genesis 6:2, the definition does change throughout the Tanakh.
B'nai Ha Elohim, yes. Right. Yeah. It's there in Job 1:6.
And right there, what would you say those sons of God were?
I would assume, based on the context of Job 1, I would assume it's talking about angels.
And Genesis and Job?
Yeah, Job 1:6, you got the same word. We talking language. I have the same word, the Elohim, in Genesis 6:2. Let's go to Job 1:6. I'm going to read it. And it happened one day, the sons of God came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan also came into their midst. So these sons of God, they presented themselves in front of God. And that same word, the Hebrew word, that Beni Elohim, is right there as divine figures, as angels. I mean, if you want to speak 2020 angels, but okay, you want to look at the Hebrew, they were divine. They were not human. So, I mean,
okay, when you're looking at Job chapter 1,
and show that the definitions do change.
Yes, I know. It depends on the context.
But see, the only issue, that's what we're going to say. The only issue is that in Genesis 6, we don't hear, see how when the brother brought out the book of Enoch, it had to add words to the story in order to make it fit. It said the angels, the children of heaven. Hold on. The Hebrew text did not say anything about children of Shamayim, Beni Shamayim. It don't say anything about children of heaven, and it don't say Malakim. It don't say angels.
It don't say children of someone with high rank neither. We're both adding, bro.
Right,
y'all gotta quit saying that.
Elohim,
that don't make
that
sense.
is what that is. Elohim.
It doesn't say children of someone with high rank.
Because
you're right, but it says men all over the scripture. It says men, and men were punished, and men filled the earth with violence, and men were wiped out.
And
it doesn't say anything about angels.
And you already agreed that angels could be called men. That makes no sense. And I want to point something out. I'm glad Ricky went to that, because earlier you guys were saying that there is nowhere in the text where that phrase could be interpreted as anything other than like children with high rank. And now you're saying in Job, that same phrase is angels or some type of divine being. So there you have it.
I want to
say within the text, I mean within the confines of Genesis 6. I'm saying within the confines of Genesis 6. Because like you mentioned earlier,
children of high rank neither, bro. The conversation would be pointless, because it doesn't say angels and it doesn't say children of someone with high rank.
Is it talking about anything other? Watch this. This is simple. Is it talking about anything other than men or mankind in Genesis 6? If it is, the only place you can point to is B'nai Ha-Elohim. And your interpretation of what that means, that's the only way you can imply it's not talking about men. You got men all over the scripture. You asked me a vital question. You said a man with men going around snatching
Rick
up
just
women.
asked a good
You said the
question.
earth was filled with violence, my brother.
Can B'nai Elohim be a reference to angels or divine beings?
No, let me answer the question.
Yes, it can.
Not being. No, not being. Elohim can.
What?
Not being.
What? I have the
just
Hebrew
said
right in front of me,
And
Blackburn.
Yeah.
I got
Okay, I see what he's saying.
Boy just said yes.
Yeah, you can't deny that.
Well, I see what he's saying. B'nai Ha-Elohim. I see what he's saying.
Changes when you add being.
No. The same definition in Genesis 6:2, Blackburn.
No,
is
hold on. What you're not understanding is when you look up Elohim, you do have angels, you do have divine beings. You keep saying that, we all agreeing to that. I never disagree with that. The problem is that's not what's in the text. It is not Elohim.
Sons of the gods, which would mean angels' kids.
Sons.
Let me ask y'all a question. This is real talk. Blackburn, let me ask you a question, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If I showed you a passage and you didn't know where it came from, of just straight Hebrew, would you be able to read it?
Certain things, yes, but not fluent in it, no.
So no, you wouldn't be able to read it. Coy, same question. Would you be able to read it, brother?
I could pronounce it. I ain't gonna be able to interpret it for you.
So you wouldn't be able to read it, right?
So
would you guys consider yourselves to be proficient in this language?
I'm proficient in understanding the language. Yeah, I'm learning the semantics of the language. It's not that hard, man. You got.
So if you proficient in it, if I showed you a random paragraph in Hebrew, you should be able to read it and break it down. That's what proficient in the language means. You just said no.
I got tools to be able to help me read and break it down.
No, I'm not talking about looking nothing up. I'm asking, are you proficient in the language? Just be honest, bro. It's not a big deal.
I'm not proficient. I can't just read it and interpret it.
I can most definitely identify being.
What?
All day long. I can identify being all day long.
See, now here's the thing, man. The fact that it took so long to just get a regular answer that you guys know y'all not proficient in the language. What I notice a lot of times in conversations, instead of people just having a conversation, they try to anticipate where you're going, and then they try to answer it in a way to where you can't get where they think you're going. I'm just asking for the people, honestly, because we keep talking about the language, as if we are proficient in the language in the first place. Now, Ricky just pointed out, and I'm glad he did, you have that same phrase in Job, and you guys agreed that it did not mean children of someone with high rank. It meant divine being.
That's not true. I didn't agree to that. That's not true. Corey agreed to that. I did not agree to that.
Let me throw something out there real quick, man.
It's crazy.
You say Job is older than Genesis, right? So the language in Job should be pretty much solid language, right?
Don't do that one. Nah. Job's story is older. Job's story.
What?
Let me let you.
What'd you say? Go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say Job's story is older than the story of Genesis. Yeah, but the writing ain't.
Felicia or Blackburn? Felicia or Blackburn?
Man, I need everybody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
And
you have right?
In Psalms, all over Psalms, you have B'nai Elohim. It all means divine beings.
Except for where it says B'nai Elion, then all of a sudden it's humans. Sons of God, sons of the Elohim means divine beings, but the sons of Elion, El Elyon, is humans. See how can we go from one to the other?
So are you talking about Elo and then it's a ION at the end? Is that what you see, or HIN?
It's not it's Hebrew letters, but
do you see an ELIM?
No. I think I'm talking about Psalms 82:6 or 82:9, where it says, "You are gods, and I told you, you are all the children of the Most High."
Okay. In Genesis 6:2, the word there is Ben Ha Elohim.
Right.
And it can
Everywhere
also
else in Genesis 6, it says men, man. And that's
okay.
the point. That's the only point I'm trying to make. You're right about the Job thing, but if Job was a chapter in Genesis, then we'd have a. If you found that B'nai Ha Elohim within Genesis, even though Matthew was right, I'm not saying that Genesis was all penned by one author. Chapter 5 and 6 are proof of that, because chapter 5 says this is the book of. How in the hell does it just come in after 4 chapters and all of a sudden it's introduced in chapter 5 going, this is the book of the generations of Adam? Because what he said is right. It was a amalgamation of text over a period of time.
But what I'm trying what I'm trying to understand, bro, if you have a definition that like the word Beni Elohim in Genesis 6:2, and you see that same word used as something divine, where all over the Tanakh is used as a divine being. You don't see that word used as any kind of human. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 references in the Tanakh where that word is used as divine beings, how am I in the wrong? Where am I in the wrong?
Let's go through some more. Let's go through some more references, because the first reference, the text wasn't right. Now Job was right. Job did say B'nai Elohim, but the first one, Deuteronomy, said children of Israel.
And not only that, I want to say something real quick, because Matt keeps ignoring this point, and he's trying to disregard. And I noticed that you said the same thing, Rick, when you say, when I look up this word, Ben Elohim, that's not a word. Those are 2 words. That's a phrase. That's 2 different words. It's not one word. Elohim could mean divine beings. So every time you see the word Elohim, you could possibly be talking about judges, gods, or divine beings.
No, you got Elohim by itself, and then you have words around Elohim.
Exactly. So the words around Ben Elohim is Ben, because that's a different Hebrew word. It's a different number.
Right. Okay. Are you talking? Okay, just so I can walk with you, because I got the Hebrew right in front of me.
Okay. So when you
are we talking about Ben? Hold on. Do you see? Are you talking about Ben? Ben?
Ben, yes.
Okay, and then after that, this is the English translation, because we speak English. After that, you have the H and an A, and then a colon, right? Colon sign, then Elohim right after that. Is that the word you see?
And that's what I was talking about earlier, Rick. That H and A, that means the word the. That's why I don't get why. Like sometimes it'll say her, like her Adam or whatever, and it'll say the men or the man.
These sons of God. That's what we're talking about. These here, noblemen's sons, right? The sons of noblemen, right? So you got to put the man. We're talking.
Hold on. Let me finish making my point. Let me finish making my point.
Good point too, Coy. D. You threw the D in there. All right. Go ahead, Blackburn.
So right now you have 3 different words.
Hold on.
Like you just said, son of the God or son of a God. However, the first word never changes. So I can say son of David, son of Solomon, son of Samson. In other words, the definition of son does not denote anything divine whatsoever. It literally just means son. Now, when you say a son of now, like I said, Coy agrees with you when he says that it's talking about sons of Elohim means angels in that verse in the book of Job. I don't agree with that, but we can get into that later. But in Genesis chapter 6, you could not speak about divine beings. If we were to say angels, if we were to say whatever it is, we have to stick with the text that says
we don't need to get into it later. We don't need to get into it later. We need to get into it right now.
Oh, that's
Right?
right.
Right now. If you go to if you go to the book of Job.
Right now, it's a meeting. It's a meeting. It's a meeting going on in the book of Job.
Let me please clarify my statement, please, because I know you're finna bust me upside my head. Rick, I do think, you know how you always would ask, who was there in heaven to record this conversation? I do believe there's a little bit of, man, I don't want to use the M word, mythology. I think there's a little bit of, this is what I think was going on. The author is trying to paint a picture of what he believes happens in heaven when something goes down. Like I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but I do believe it's talking about angels, but I don't believe it's supposed to be taken literal. Like this guy actually was up there and got a photo shot of the angels on the left and the right and Satan walking up. Hey, where you been at? Oh, I've been all up and down the earth. It's hard for me to say that. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, Corey.
What's that, brother?
And I agree with you. I do believe Job is mythological. But let me ask you this. Where are you getting that they had a conversation?
Where
did you get that they have a conversation in heaven at? Where did that understanding come from?
Out of the Tanakh.
No, it doesn't. Where does that understanding come from that they had a conversation in heaven?
You asking me, brother, or you asking Rick?
It doesn't. No, I'm asking you. You said that it appears in heaven. That's not in the text.
You're right. The only, the reason I got that implication. I mean, it might come from just me growing up and my understanding, but it's because God asked Satan, "Where you been?" And he says, "Oh, I've been up and down in the earth." And going up, he said, "Have you considered my servant Job? He, like on earth, like he's the best man on earth." Based on how I read it in English, I never really went back and looked at the language. It sounds like they're not on earth having this conversation. That's where I got it from. But you're right. It don't never say anything about heaven.
It never says anything about heaven. That's not there. Not only is that not there, it says that in the book of Exodus, the sons of God presented themselves to the Most High, and Satan came in their midst. He is obviously separating Satan from the sons of God. And Satan came within their midst, or Satan came with them also. So right now we see a group of people and Satan, or a group of something and Satan. Satan is an angel. Satan is an angel.
An adversary, right?
An adversary. Actually, it means oppressor. But we get this whole Satan is a bad angel from Christianity and all that other junk. But it's showing that an angel came within the midst, and God asked him, "Have you considered this and have you considered that?" But we see the same exact thing that the sons of God presents. The sons of God presents themselves to the Most High in the book of Deuteronomy. It's a part of the law. It's literally versed and stated exactly like that. I can give you the sons of God presents themselves. What was it? 3 times a year to the Most High. That's one of the commandments. I mean, literally verbatim, and it literally says it just like that. The sons of Israel presents themselves to the Most High, and we just automatically thought, based upon Christianity and based upon our understanding of Genesis chapter 6, we automatically thought that was talking about angels. However, the text never implies that. The text never implies that. It only says that God had a conversation with the sons of God.
I got something for you, man. It looks like in the Hebrew, they do have certain words to kind of identify humans or like something existing like life. I want y'all to let me know if I was wrong here. The word, do y'all ever see the word nepesh or nefesh?
Yeah, like serpent, snake or serpent, I believe.
Or like a spirit.
Oh, nefesh means a spirit? thought it was something else.
Yes, yes.
Trying to make sure
I'm
we got
familiar with
the
that.
same Hebrew. We should.
Where you at?
Well, I'm just just looking up Hebrew words, and just let me know if y'all see the words Nephesh.
It doesn't have anything to do with a serpent or a snake.
No, it didn't.
Oh shoot.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I ain't prolific, brother, man. I thought I was.
But
It sounded
I
similar to something.
didn't want to get away from this point because everybody tries to avoid this point.
Oh no, I'm not running. I was actually on point. I was gonna go somewhere with it, but go ahead, Blackburn.
I want to make this very clear. Based upon the definition that we go with, according to the Christian interpretation or the Hellenistic interpretation, we have to say that these were sons of angels. Matt took that and he literally changed the subject. Matt is a master at that. You got to watch him. We literally never dealt with sons of angels. You have to say that if you are interpreting that Elohim, that one word in Genesis chapter 6, verse 2, which is Elohim, not Ben Elohim, that one word Elohim as angels, or God, or divine beings, or judges, because that word has a few different definitions as we went over. Ben does not. Ben does not have different definitions. It only has one definition. It only means son. So you have to say that these were sons of angels. And then when you continue to read that verse, that these sons of angels went down. These sons of angels went down. Because
that's a good point. Yeah, if we stick to the text, that could be a definite interpretation right there.
Because no matter how you try to shake it, if I say it's God, or if I say it's judges, if I say it's noble men, if I say it's angels, no matter what I say it is, or what you say it is, it has to be the son of that. It has to be the offspring, the seed of that thing that if I say judges, or if you say angels, but it wasn't the angels that went down, because that's not what the text says at all. The text does not say that whatsoever. The text does not say it's judges that went down. It don't say that. So it don't say it was noble men that went down. It says the sons of.
Okay.
So that no matter if I take Matt's argument, if you take my argument, if you take the Hellenistic Jew argument, if you take the Rabbi Jew argument, no matter which argument you take, it's still that the offspring of that definition that we're going to put there, the offspring of the divine beings, they have to have an offspring. Because if you take the offspring out, you literally completely change the text. If you say that Elohim went down, or the divine beings went down, or the angels went down, or the noble men went down, we have completely changed the text. We have to say that the offspring of whatever we're talking about went down. So you have to show me an angel that has the capability or the capacity to have kids. So you have to say that the sperm or the offspring of angels went down to have sex with women.
Blackburn.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is Jewish thought right here. I just want to know your point of view. If a Jew was to come in, there are Jews that would come up to you and tell you some stuff like this. Like, okay, if sons of God means human beings, the time that it means human beings in the Tanakh is when it's referenced to the nation of Israel. So if we go to Genesis 6:4 or 6:2 and we see the words sons of God, are you telling me that definition kind of is in correlation with the nation of Israel? because this is what a Jew would tell you, that sons of God, when it's talking about being are used in a human sense in the Tanakh, it means the nation of Israel.
Well, that's a correlation. That's in defense of the Christian interpretation that sons of God means people. There was no sons of God in the Tanakh. And God said that in Exodus chapter 4 that Israel is my son, my firstborn son. God also said Solomon is his son. Israel formed a nation after mankind had been around for some years. However, before Israel formed the nation, God still had judges. God still had priests. As a matter of fact, what was the priest that Abraham gave a tithe to? I think it was
Hold on.
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek, wasn't it?
Let me say this one more time, because I don't want you to get off topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the Hebrew train of thought, like the sons of God, when it's used as, like, when it's speaking of something in human sense, it's speaking about the nation of Israel. And when it's not, it means something divine. So, how you feel about that? Like, do you agree with the Jewish man who would tell you that? Because this is Hebrew thought. This is their interpretation of Genesis 6:2.
Just like Matt said, that's not the only interpretation. There's Hebrews, Jews, and rabbis that disagree with that interpretation. So when it talks about sons of God, that is not the only Jewish interpretation of that text. That's why I'm not disagreeing with the Jew, and I'm not agreeing with the Jew, because he could bring Philo, I could bring the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul refers to sons of God as being people who had faith in Jesus. So when the Apostle Paul writes about sons of God, he is writing about human beings that had faith in Jesus Christ. When the Apostle John writes about sons of God, he literally says that these that believe, he gave them the authority to become sons of God. That's in John chapter 1. So you have quote unquote Jews, according to the New Testament, that never interpreted sons of God to mean anything else other than people who had a relationship with God. So sons of God, and then you read sons of God in the book of Exodus. In the book of Exodus, sons of God is the nation of Israel. Nation of Israel is not angels. So if an individual is talking about sons of God mean A, B, and C, and it means A when it's talking about a human form, and it means something else when it's talking about a divine form, I have yet to have seen an offspring of something divine. That's why I keep bringing this up. What is a divine being offspring? When Korah read sons of God in Genesis chapter 6, they produce something called Nephilim. When you look at Nephilim, these were men. These were men. So in the book of Genesis, this offspring from these divine beings, angels or noble men, had sex with women, and what happened after they had sex with women was men were born. That's what happened. Not angels, not no lizard man.
Are you saying that the children of Israel are the offspring of Yahweh? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the Bible refers to Israel as offspring of God. Yes,
symbolically, yes.
And you believe that they are like the offspring, like your son is your offspring. You believe that the children of Israel are the offspring of Yahweh.
It literally, it's a symbolic meaning. Yes, I do.
No, not symbolically. Are they the the children of Israel the literal?
No, I absolutely not don't believe that.
Huh?
No, I
we're
don't
the
believe
children
that.
of
The
our
text never
parents.
implies that.
So, okay, I'm trying to understand your point then, because when you were talking about what Elohim may mean, whether it's angels or divine beings, or is it God, or is it humans, you were saying that because they attached that son of to it, then it had to be referring to the literal offspring of something else. And you keep asking, what is the literal offspring of divine being? So it implies in my mind that you're saying when it says that the children of Israel are the sons of God, then they are the literal offspring of God. And if the children of Israel aren't the literal offspring of God, how can you apply that standard to Genesis 6? I don't understand.
You made it as that's the only definition of sons of God. That's not the only definition, because God, Elohim.
No. Okay, and I've been quiet. I just want to get in the conversation. That's where you're wrong. I never said what the only definition was. That's my biggest problem. See, what you guys keep saying and what Ricky keep pointing out is two totally different things. Because your main premise last night was that if you know the language, then that sons of God can only mean one thing. And now with Ricky's line of questioning is validating that that's not true. You can see the sons of God, or you can see Beni Elohim, and it does not only have one definition. So I'm not saying that there's only one definition of Elohim, and I'm not saying that there's only one definition of Beni Elohim. That was your point. Don't put that point off on me.
No, I was saying that in reference to the question.
So let me ask you this, honestly. Wait a minute. I've been quiet for a while. Let me get in, Court. Well, yeah, I'd let y'all go for like 20 minutes. I ain't said nothing. I've been eating everything. So according to the language, since we know the language can be ambiguous, it could mean more than one thing, right? Are you still maintaining that it is impossible for Genesis 6 to be referring to angels? You're still saying that that's impossible?
No. When you said that the language can or cannot mean only one thing, again, what I said and what is absolutely true, being means only one thing. Elohim has a multiple.
I've been quiet for a while. I don't want to rehash that. I'm asking you, is with what Ricky just said, and I've been listening to the conversation, is it possible that Genesis 6 could be talking about angels just with what it says? Is that a possibility?
No, there's no possibility. No possible way it can be angels.
So is there more than one possibility of what it's talking about?
No, when it says no possibilities, it could be sons of angels, because we keep leaving that out as if that doesn't exist. It can be angels, but it has to be the angel sons.
Wait a minute. Wait, bro, I don't want to rehash that. So you're telling me that when you see sons of God, it can only mean children of people with high rank. That's the only thing that it could mean and nothing else.
No, what I'm saying, it could mean children of divine beings, children of judges, children of God, children of angels.
So wait, so that's what wait a minute. Stop, slow down. I'm not gonna let you dominate because I'm jumping in now. I'm just asking questions for clarification. So I just asked you if Genesis 6 is it a possibility that it could be referring to angels. You said no. Now you're saying that it could be children of divine beings. It could be children of angels. It could be children of God. So I'm going to double back again. Is it a possibility that Genesis 6, sons of God, could be talking about angels?
And I'm going to say it again because you keep twisting the words up. You are always saying, you asked the question, could it be angels? I said, no, it has to be sons of angels. Then you say, I'm going to double back and ask you again.
Okay, is a son of angel. Okay, brother.
Out of my answer.
Brother, we already established that the children of Israel aren't literal sons of God. It's something symbolic in there. So let me ask you this. So that sons of God, whether symbolic or literal, it could be a reference to angels, whether it's sons of angels or however the hell you want to say it. Could it be angels? Like, could a person in reference to angels say sons of God? Can they say that?
No, they would never.
Why can they? Why not? If they can say it about Israel?
I got it.
Literally, if you wanted to talk about angels, you would never use the word sons of.
No, if it could be talked of, if you could say sons of God for the sons of Yahweh, the sons of angels, why can't you say that that's talking about angels? You're not making. You don't make sense.
The sons of denotes it's two different groups. God, sons of God. So there's the group which is called sons, and then there's God. So God stands by himself, and sons stands by itself. So when you say
wait a minute, stop, because I'm not letting you go. I'll let y'all go for 20 minutes. So you're telling me that human beings, Israelites, can be called the sons of God, but an angel cannot be called the son of God. That's what you're saying, bro? You can say it about an Israelite, but you can't say it about an angel?
No, because Israel is not God.
I didn't say that. No, I'm not. Okay.
I know you didn't say that, because what you're saying.
I already asked another question. Let me go for a minute. I'll let you go. Now, audience, I let them go for about 20 minutes, and I just want to jump in and say a few things unencumbered, right? Now, this guy is telling us, and I'm glad Ricky asked the questions that he asked, because it paints a better picture. So he's saying that Israelites, human beings, can be called the sons of God, right? But an angel cannot be called the sons of God. That makes no sense. But I want to show y'all something. This is what happens when you try to make logical reasoning out of a mythological story. That's why what y'all have to hold fast to in your mind, that this whole situation in Genesis is mythology. Once you understand that it's mythology,
so it's okay for you to twist my words.
Just let y'all go for 30 freaking minutes, and I didn't say nothing.
But what? That's you know.
Why do you always feel the need to cut me off, and I don't be cutting you off?
That's crazy. You just cut me off when I was in Sugar Land, and you say we can have a back and forth. Now,
and then I said I want to have a few minutes unencumbered. I just let y'all go for like 30 minutes. I didn't say nothing, and now that I'm making my point, you jumping in. What's the point? I don't get it, man. What's up with that?
I mean, because you're saying stuff I said that I didn't say.
Oh my God! You said stuff that I said, and I still stayed on mute.
Brothers, what about a little dialogue, a little question Q&A between you both? Because if we go for 15 and you go for 15,
never lets me answer his questions the way I want to answer his questions.
You're gonna be, you see what I'm saying? What if we do a little back? I mean, go ahead, brother. It's your platform, man. But I'm just saying, eventually we are gonna have back and forth.
Can y'all agree? I didn't say nothing for like the past 20 minutes. Can we agree to that?
Right.
That you just seen that? And so I just started asking questions, and then I was just trying to make a statement, and then we were going to get right back into the conversation. But while I was making my statement, he cut me off. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't about to go for 20 minutes. I was just making a statement. But go ahead. I mean, if you got more you want to say, Blackburn, go ahead and say more of the same.
No, I don't. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like how you say I said something, then go on and on and on, and don't let me clarify that you're saying something that I did not say. I really don't like that. I really think that, and I know you're not a dishonest guy. I know that. I know you're very truthful, and I'm not in my this is no I'm in my feelings type of thing. But I really don't like how you say that I said something, then you go on for a certain amount of time, and I really, I don't think that's I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all.
You did it to me.
If you say I said something, and I disagree that I said that, then I feel like you should let me bring up what I actually said.
Okay, so but when we're having a conversation like this, bro, I felt like that you said several things that I didn't say. So what I did, I waited until I had the floor, and then I was going to go back and correct it. If I slip up and I say something that you didn't say, you have to let me finish my thought, and then when you come back, you bring it up and you correct me. That's all you have to do. You just got to have a little patience, brother.
I fully agree. I fully agree. We'll do it that way. No problem.
But no, I mean, go ahead. What did I say that you didn't say? I mean, clear it up since we're here.
You said that I can say sons of Israel, but I can't say means sons of God. But you can't say that sons of God can refer to angels. And literally what I said was, son, you're making angels being. That's what I'm saying. You're making angels being.
What?
You're making angels son. Because Elohim in that verse, that's the only place you can use for angels. So it will be angels of angels, because you're making the sons angels.
Okay, I get where your problem is coming in at. That's not That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if the term sons of God, right? Does God have any literal sons, like literal offspring sons?
God, no, he does not.
Okay, so if we use that term sons of God, we know that we can be referring to things and entities that are not literal offspring. That's why you can say the children of Israel are sons of God, right? And so what I'm saying is, can you say that angels are sons of God? If Israelites can be sons of God, then angels should be able to be considered sons of God. That's what I'm saying. You keep talking about, I'm saying, angels, sons of angels. No, I'm saying sons of God. If Israelites can be sons of God, then an angel should be able to be a son of God. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, no, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not going to interrupt. I want you to make your point and finish.
Okay, so real quick. Now, what I'm saying is, I brought up the different definitions of Elohim because when they talk about the language, I'm showing you the language itself is ambiguous. It can have several interpretations. We've all agreed that Elohim itself can be God, the Yahweh. It could be angels. It can be judges. It could be Moses. Samson could be an Elohim. That's ambiguous. So we're going to have to interpret it. And so what I'm saying is this term, sons of God, in the sense of, even if you say sons of Yahweh, right? Sons of Elohim Yahweh. If Israelites, if human being Israelites can be classified as sons of Yahweh, sons of God, then angels can be classified and called sons of Yahweh, sons of God. You can't say that doesn't work. You can't say that doesn't fit.
I gotta throw in something, man. I got to, because we're dealing with language. Whenever we in the Tanakh, we have to deal with the Hebrew language, and like when you look at this from Coy and Blackburn's perspective, that the Elohim or sons of God in Genesis 6:2 means humans who were important. You have to look other places in the text where you can see it, that same definition or word being used in that manner. And like, from what I see is you don't really see that type of Elohim that you see in Genesis 6:2 used as a definition where that Elohim is a ruler or a king or somebody important until you get to Psalm, Samuel, 2 Samuel, and First Chronicles, where these people were actually the descendants of actual kings. So, you know, even looking at it from your point of view in that verse, I mean, you're kind of right with the language, but in that verse, I don't see the meaning anywhere human, because, you know, you don't see the human part of the Elohim word used until you get to Psalms, First Chronicles, also Kings.
Okay, can I add something? Because Brother Matt said something that I think is we share this point here that he made, which is the word in question, Elohim, not just the phrase, but the word Elohim. It can be translated 4 or 5 different ways. It can mean sons of the rulers or whatever. And it can also mean demigods, sons of the gods, which is a phrase we might not understand, because there might have been people like pharaohs who thought they were actual sons of Ra or Ra themselves or whatever. But since that word needs to be interpreted, what do we do in every other instance when we need to interpret something? If it could mean angels, if it could mean humans, how are we going to know what the verse is actually saying? We got to use the context of the words around it, and that was the point I was trying to get to. I'm with you, Matt, because Rick brought up a good point. He didn't say this part yet because he didn't go through all the verses, but Job 38:7, I think, that's the one. That's the one where you can't say that's talking about human, because it says something like, it's talking about God during creation. It says something like when the morning stars sprang forth and the sons of God shouted for joy. Well, hold on. You're talking about when the luminaries popped up in the sky, what humans were around. So Job seems to use the phrase, and this is just from my perspective. Blackburn can rebuttal this, and that's fine. And it's good for us to disagree sometime here. But Job 38:7 seems to be pointing to some kind of angelic divine beings, whatever you want to call them. See what I'm saying? So yes, could it mean one angels? It probably could, according to the author, the pen of Job. Could it mean humans? Yes, according to the pen of whoever, Genesis or Exodus. So how else are we going to figure out what it means except for look at what else is around? And that's why I keep going man, men, mankind. That's why I do that. And that's where I'm getting that from. Because I'm not saying it can't mean angel. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Job 38:7 is kind of clear. If you want to pull that up and read it, that's damn near. I mean, that's clear as day. It can't be talking about humans. What humans were around when the morning stars sprang forth? You know, the first lights or whatever you want to say.
But can you do you feel me whenever you see like the same Hebrew word, you know, written the same way in the Hebrew in other verses, meaning a king, a ruler, or his son, or when you go to another part of the Bible and you can see the same Hebrew word written and it means something divine or angelic. As long as we
give me one second. I'm gonna put you on hold for a second.
Looking at the Hebrew. Y'all should agree, because you have to agree. And when you agree, you just have to. When we go to Genesis 6:2, you just have to be able to accept that those could be angels. And you know, show Jews who like. I'm giving you the Jewish point of view, the Jewish thought. So
I would agree with you here, Rick, that I mean, I'm not going to say nothing couldn't be, because like Matt says, a lot of this seems to be very, you know, it used to be hard for me to admit this, but it has to, a lot, because we know this Genesis wasn't written by an author who was living during this time. like pre-flood. It was not a pre-flood author. So somebody was either under divine inspiration or was trying to put together the national history of his people, you know, using some traditional concepts, like concepts that were traditionally accepted. I'm okay with that. So I'm not saying, I don't have a problem with angels sleeping with people because it's all mythology. I'm just saying that's not written there. Like, you know, when you guys would say, well, how did the donkey talk? That's written in there. It literally says the animal opened his mouth and spoke to a man. So I had to try to explain that, you know, but here, that's what I'm harping on the language because you're right. Could it mean? Yes, it could.
No. What's written? You showed me what's written. You gave us the Hebrew. The one you posted said the sons of noblemen. So I'm taking the word nobleman as something in human form, because it's not no God. It's not a king. Well, it could be. I don't know. But you know, let's just say that that verse you gave me was the original Hebrew. We should be able to see that same word used somewhere else in the Tanakh. And when we do see that word used in that definition that you're trying to give me, you see that that definition is used to explain a ruler, but you don't see that until Psalms or Chronicles. You don't see it in Genesis. Same thing with the nation of Israel.
Right.
You know, whenever the word Elohim is trying to describe humans, I have verses where you can go there and you can see where it's describing humans. Plenty of them.
Right. But see, this was my thing. No, just real quick. This is my only thing, because you make a good point. My only thing is that the phrase being used. See how when Matt brought out, hold on, Bubba. When Matt brought out the fact that Genesis was obviously not written by the same author. I got to get this out quick because the kids up now. When Genesis, we know Genesis wasn't written by the same author. We could tell by looking at chapters 5 and 6. They don't meld together. Whoever compiled these things, these writings, if they didn't add anything to it, what was already written, whoever compiled these writings tried to do it in chronological order. So it goes 5 then 6, but we know 5 and 6 were not part of the same book. It don't flow. Okay, so the point I'm trying to say is that whoever wrote 6, B'nai Elohim, might not have been the author of the rest of Genesis. I would assume he wrote 7 and 8, you know, but whoever wrote 6, his phraseology, see, I'm just saying, man, I don't know how to say this. Like Job kept saying sons of God, sons of God. If he was implying angels, that was his own way of saying that from wherever he was from, however he understood it. This other guy only says sons of God one time, and we don't see that phrase again, so it leaves it wide open because we don't have a whole lot of proof from the same author in the same story. Like if it was again in Genesis 6, and it was more literal that it was talking about humans, then I'd have a case, but where's the evidence? All the evidence has to go to other authors, and doing that, and let me mute y'all, man, but going to other authors, it puts us in trouble because we can't say that every author, like, you know, why does Genesis 1 say and Elohim? Why don't it just say Yahweh? Why don't it just come out and just say the Tetragrammaton, right? That was what was in the author's mind. This is how he referred to the Most High. Some people say Most High, some say God's, you know. So why do we get this? It's because of the different minds of the author. So it's a very tricky thing, man, trying to take that phrase and say, well, look, other authors said it meant such and such. Well, they didn't write Genesis 6.
And what we're going to do, we've been on for quite a while. So I'm going to let everybody just get a closing statements. And then we're going to end this one. And we'll probably do another one later or another day or something. I don't want to keep everybody on here forever. So whoever want to start, you can just go down the line and just take a few minutes and close out.
Okay, I'm good, y'all, man. Healthy dialogue. I appreciate the the time, Brother Matt. You know, I appreciate this here. I missed the last one, so this was good, man. And like I said, I'm not fighting mythology. You know, I want to make that point. I'm not fighting the mythological aspects of some of the things in the Tanakh. I'm just saying that I don't believe this was expressly talking about angels or humans.
All right, Ricky. Okay.
Yeah, peace, y'all. Yeah. I think that's just a way to try to not use the word mythology, man. You know, whenever you try to say that those sons of gods were rulers, because from the Hebrew thought in that verse, those were not rulers. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna close. Peace.
All right. Blackburn, you still there? You've been muted for a while, man. You busy, or can you close out real quick for us? All right, Blackburn might be busy, so if he come in before I finish closing out, I'll let him close out. If not, we just gonna end it. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate the conversation. We covered a lot of topics. We got a lot of information in there. That's what's up. So I hope the audience, I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all appreciate it. I'm still, I'm of the opinion that, it's a mythological story, in my opinion. I feel like it's a mythological story. So it's not going to follow a coherent train of thought, of logic. And it was compiled by more than one hand. So there's going to be things that you can't fully explain in logical, realistic terms. That's just what I think. So I can't explain everything about it. Who was the Nephilim? What did the Nephilim do? How was it Nephilim after the flood? I don't think that really happened. So we have to talk about what does that possibly mean. But I don't think it really happened. So I have no answers for those types of questions. Like I said, I just think it's mythology, and I think that a lot of the ancient Israelites agreed with me that this was talking about angels, man. And I see it, and I respect y'all point of view, and I appreciate y'all point of view. Blackburn, are you there to close out? If not, we just gonna end it, and you missed out, brother. All right, we're finna end this one. Y'all have a good one. This your brother Matthew Daniels, a.k.a. Ampu, a.k.a. The Chosen Few, a.k.a. The Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. Oh, yeah, and go out there and get them books, man. Support what I got going on. We got Big Game Hunting, Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com by Matthew Daniels. Y'all go get that book. I want y'all to get that Thicker Than Water by Matthew Daniels on BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com. You can get it in paperback or ebook. And Suicide Note. This is only available on Amazon. Barnes and Nobles hasn't picked it up yet, but hopefully they will in the future. So show your support and get those novels. I'm out. Thanks for watching.